Strike first, right? I'm John Stark from ActionMovieGuy.com, and I'm your favorite blind film critic. This is Cobra Kai, Season 6, Episode 1. The first episode was where I was going with the strike first thing. I know it's really lame. Sometimes I don't have great little quippy things to say up at the top. Anyway, the show has audio description done by Descriptive Video Works. We'll talk about it at some point during my recap. My recaps are not like necessarily play-by-plays, and more just like thoughts on the episode. This is much what I would much rather do with Cobra Kai is break it down episode by episode, a little bit slowly, and enjoy it. I binge watch some things for the channel and other things. I actually enjoy Cobra Kai, and I want to space the episodes out more since this is the final season. So, well, let's talk about it though, because I've seen the first episode, as most people have at this point. So after a seemingly long wait, we are finally back with season 6. And after the remnants of season 5, where Miyagi-Do / Eagle Fang came out on top, we have now one Kumbaya dojo that is that has come together, and everybody seems to be getting along. Miguel and Robbie are getting along. Samantha is, tentatively getting along with Tori. That sort of builds as the episode goes along, but there's peace. They're not at each other's throats. Everybody's sort of together. It's, very, very nice and peaceful. The biggest sort of catalyst anger thing in this episode is what to name the dojo, which ends up becoming really a fight between Johnny and Chosen. Because Chosen thinks Eagle Fang is dumb, and Johnny wants Eagle Fang at least somehow represented in the title. He's like, well, I'm here. He feels like he's being kind of like third wheeled, and he tries, I don't know, when you come up with silly ideas, he walks in the room and he's like, I had a great idea for today's lesson. It involves fire and a skillet. So I'm going to need a skillet. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then Daniel's like, well, maybe run that, Chosen's actually going to do the lesson today. Maybe run your idea by me first. And he's like, but since when do I have to run things by you? He's like, I don't know, since they might burn down the house, it's Johnny being Johnny. This, I don't know, these aren't long episodes, so not a ton happens, but basically it's just show the fact that everybody is together and fine and cool. It highlights the fact that Miguel and Robbie have put their past behind them, and Johnny is still an expecting father. Carmen's still pregnant. If this would be one hell of a pregnancy, it was based on real time between season 5 and season 6. So, yeah, I know this whole cast probably looks like they're in their 20s by now, but poor Miguel, he's like Blue Beetle. And now he's back to doing Miguel and being like, I'm in high school. No, you're not. Anyway, so Tori and Samantha, and Tori, Peyton List, still has to go finish her other show where she's still in high school, School Spirits. It's just like, poor these kids, like how old are they going to be before they stop playing high school? They get together, the boys arrange like a double date, and it kind of doesn't really go over too well. This was the only thing that confused me in the audio description. Is there's a point where the two girls are kind of talking back and forth, but it doesn't seem like they're talking. I couldn't tell if they were talking together to the boys, or if they had pulled each of their boyfriends aside separately and had this conversation about like, did you think that we were going to be, we're not the double dating type, blah, 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 blah. And Um, sort of that moment, like were they both doing it in front of them or together or separately? I couldn't tell. It felt like it was kind of cutting back and forth between two different conversations, but it could have been everybody sitting at like one table. I just There wasn't really a specificity in the audio description. Luckily, that's not really the point of Cobra Kai's audio description. The point of it is to capture the great fighting, which there is some, because Robbie sees Kenny. Kenny, who sounds like he's 25 now. Uh, Kenny, the little kid, has now a deep voice. And Robbie goes over, he's like, I want to protect Kenny. He's like, you don't need protection anymore. Like, okay. And Sean sounds like he's Vin Diesel. He's got a really low voice. He's like, yo, man, we gonna have a problem. I'm like, what happened to this family? I just got out of jewelry, and I got the lowest voice I could possibly find for this character. um, yeah, so everybody's ages are just like, it's becoming really problematic. The show really cannot do without a time jump another season. It really just couldn't do it. It has to end the season because these characters are getting like cartoonishly old for their age. Um, so yeah, Kenny is grown up, and but still they want to protect him. It doesn't sound like he needs protection, but and offer him a space at whatever Miyagi Fang is now, and let him compete in this thing that they're all training for. And they're like, you earned it, man. You know, I tried to help you. I tried to get you out. That's what Robbie keeps trying to say, and he's just not really having it. It leads to sort of like Sean being like, leave him alone, man, or we got a problem. But Robbie's there with his crew, you know, Miguel, Samantha, and Tori, and they're like, we got your back. And yeah, so they sort of fight, but more like block shots and deflect than they do anything else. And you know, they kind of just they do it the Miyagi way. Basically, they don't do anything the Cobra Kai way, even though most of them have been trained at Cobra Kai at some point. So they all use their Miyagi teachings to sort of bring the temperature down in the fight. Later on, we see Sean talking to his brother, and he's like, "Yo, man, yo, you're really good out there. I never really thought that." I'm trying to do my Sean voice because it's like really low. It's like, yo, maybe you should really think about this karate thing. And they're like, yo, man, those guys, they really suck. Sean's like, I don't know, man. They had a lot of opportunities where they could, but they pulled their punches, man. They didn't, you know, those two girls, they had you. Then you had me, they had you. I saw it. They didn't have me. They didn't have my car. Fast and Furious for life. Then he gets away and drives. Anyway, so we're basically, yeah, Kenny joins Cobra Kai. Woohoo! Where the success of this episode is to get Kenny into Cobra Kai, Miyagi-Do, or Eagle Fang, or Kai Fang, or Cobra Do, or Miyagi Eagle, or I don't know. This thing is just gonna keep changing. Meanwhile, with the adults, we've got Johnny, who's, you know, ready to fight Chosen over the naming abilities of the dojo. Even though the kids came up with Miyagi Fang, which is just a picture of Mr. Miyagi with fangs, which sounds really interesting and entertaining, and I wish they had gone that route. But of course, Daniel's like, no, that's offensive. Miyagi would have hated that. Mr. Miyagi would have hated that. And I'm like, that's so cool though. Like vampire Miyagi. And they're like, we all voted on it. This is what we all want. Miyagi Fang. Sounds cool. And then they're just like, no, fuck you kids. We're gonna fight over this ourselves, and then name the dojo and just ignore your wants and needs. Your needs are stupid. So yeah, they set up to fight, and Chosen reveals, that he drunkenly called this girl back in Japan. He's really upset about it because she never called back. And Johnny is ready to chop down a tree and carry it, like in a movie. I don't know I forgot the movie he referenced. I don't know. He's like, carry it through the snow, like in, I don't know, whatever 80s movie that he loves. He just always references some weird, probably Iron Eagle. I don't know. And just, he's got, he ends up sort of like getting pulled aside because I think he thinks it's Kreese. He gets a text message that says like, Cobra Kai never die. And he's like, who is this? Meet me, you know? So he shows up at this location, and it's not Kreese. It is instead Stingray, who is teaching a karate class to elementary school age children. And Stingray encourages Johnny to take back the Cobra Kai name that was his. And he's like, man, it's your right. You did all this work to get rid of Silver and to take Cobra Kai, and it's yours. And it looks like he's convinced Johnny to do that. It looks like that's where it's going to go. Like, that's where we're headed. But finally, when we show up to the fight and it's, Johnny versus Chosen, at first Daniel and Chosen have a thing where Daniel's like, I think we're going to need to let Johnny win on this one. It doesn't really matter what the dojo's called. It's about keeping these students together, about keeping everybody together. Then Johnny comes up and surprises everybody by being like, I don't care about the name. Miyagi-Do's fine. I don't want Eagle Fang. Eagle Fang was born out of Cobra Kai, which was born out of John Kreese and Silver, and I don't want any part of that anymore. I want to do something good, something fresh. It's a very mature decision from Johnny, which is very unlike Johnny. So it catches you really off guard because especially after the conversation he has, it's like a 180 because it feels like it's totally setting you up for, like they're gonna regain Cobra Kai, the whole show's called, right? But they're not the ones that are gonna regain Cobra Kai. It's the FBI most wanted John Kreese, who shows up with people who are fighting in the woods. Like, what is this? Who are these kids, and what dojo? Like, who's teaching them in the woods at night? How sketchy is this? Like, do you want to learn karate during the day, or do you want to learn karate at night in a forest? Like, I don't know, like from a normal dojo, like not what is this weird? There's like kids like fighting in the middle of the forest. Then John Kreese, of course, with a cigar, just walks up. I'm surprised. I'm surprised this poor guy that's been playing John Kreese all these years doesn't have lung cancer. He's always got to be smoking a cigar. Yeah. So that was the shocking ending to the first episode. John Kreese is back. There's no Silver in here. So Silver is off doing something else. He's in the recap of season 5 that is at the beginning of this episode. When they go through all of the motions of everything that happened last season. So we didn't get a chance to touch on all of the like minor characters, but pretty much the main ones are here. The big 4 plus you got Hawk. I think he's the one who presents the Eagle Fang thing. I'm still kind of pulling for Aisha to return to the dojo, but I don't think that's gonna happen. It is the final season, so it'd be nice if she was like, my parents have changed their minds about my life, and they want me to be a part of this. What's up? Remember me? I got written off early on because they couldn't maintain too many characters. Bring back all the characters. Like, what happened to Moon? You know, where did those characters go? Bring them all back. Let's round up some characters. Get them all back for the final season. So yeah, I like it. I love Cobra Kai, and it's cheesy and it's great. And I actually like it more than the film franchise. And I don't know why. I hate to say that, but I really do. I think the characters and everything and the way that they're played, and I realized fully that this series wouldn't be good if the film franchise hadn't set it up. It's one of those things where it's like, when you really love a sequel, it's like, well, the film that came before it, if it hadn't done all of the work that it did to lay the groundwork, you wouldn't have the thing that you like now. So I pay my respect and honor the film franchise, absolutely. However, there's that. So anyway, drop down in the comments and let me know if you think Hilary Swank is going to show up this season. I'm going to bet yes. I'm going to bet she's got nothing else to do. She seems to just pop up in things. She's already been doing TV. I'm going to bet she at some point cameos this season. That's my bet in some role, somewhere, somehow. But I'm going to give Cobra Kai season 6, episode 1, an A. Welcome back, Eagle, Fang, Miyagi, Do, Kai, Cobra. We missed you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I'll see you guys on the other side.